Sorry, I am actively chewing a tomato. Okay, I'm done. So, I know that I get on here sometimes, and it seems like I repeat myself over and over again. At least I feel like that to me. I feel like I repeat a lot of stuff. But there are a lot of the stuff that I'm still actively learning more and more about. So even though I have an idea and I know what I'm talking about and I'm actively doing it, I still put myself in there and learn more. Uh, you know, because information and stuff always changes. So, like, the economy, we all know that's going down right now. Uh, you know, the voices that you should be listening to on this aspect are the really, rich people who give their advice and opinions on what people should be doing in order to best prepare for this. Those are always really good people to listen to. So definitely listen to those types of videos and listen to what they have to say as well, not just these videos. Because I can sit here all day long and tell you what you should do and what you shouldn't do and how I would go about it. But at the end of the day, I'm not as knowledgeable as a lot of other people are. So definitely take that into consideration when you watch these videos and then as you go out and you look for more. A little thing I have been thinking about doing is so Monday through Friday I upload a video. Or was it this week? This week I didn't upload on Monday. Last week I didn't upload on Monday. Last week I got sick. So I had the flu. I was not okay. Luckily it was only like a 1 day bug and not like a whole week thing. So I didn't have a video uploaded Monday. I didn't have one uploaded this Monday because Christmas weekend and the husband was off of work. And so I try not to do a video while he's here. One, because, I don't want any distractions while I'm doing videos. The dog doesn't count, I guess, because he comes in all the time when I do videos, it seems like. So, yeah, and then I also like to just spend time with him while he's here because he's at work for 9 hours of the day. He only gets a 30-minute lunch break. I do go see him on lunch whenever I have the car. I do have the car today, so I will go see him on lunch. But that puts an added thing of what am I going to make for lunch. He used to have this whole thing set up, but I am out of crock pot bags, and I still have curry in the crock pot from yesterday. So it's in the fridge, don't worry. It's, I could just put the crock pot on warm and give him leftovers, which I wouldn't mind eating myself. But yes. No, I also need to get back onto writing down the meals that I am going to cook every day. That's a great way to do this. When you go out and buy groceries, sit down first and make a list and write down what you're going to make for each day. So we do 2 weeks. We've been slacking on our thing since the holidays started. We need to get back on. So yes, write down what you're gonna make every day of those 2 weeks, and then that helps with groceries because then you buy the ingredients you need for the recipes you're doing. let's see. So, an update on the channel that I've been thinking of for a while is, yes, I do upload Monday through Friday, except for those 2 Mondays, and every other Saturday, I think. Not for sure on that one just yet. But I'll probably sprinkle in a few Saturdays because my husband sometimes works on Saturdays. So, yes. But I think that Monday and Tuesday I will upload a video where I give you advice and stuff on everything, financial wise. Wednesday will be like a reflection Wednesday, where I do those videos where I'm talking to myself through the camera, and you can take it as I'm talking to you too, like personally, like talking to you, which is a great way to listen to those videos, because then you're not just, it's like yourself talking to yourself. So it's not just me talking to myself, it's yourself talking to yourself as well. If that's how you want to look at the videos, and that's how you look at the videos, that's great. And then Thursday, I think I'll do another video giving you advice and information and everything. And then Friday, I will do about me videos. So you can learn a little bit more about me, because, just looking at here, you're like, who the heck is this person on the camera? Why is she talking to me like this? I don't know her. I don't know what she does. But yes. So every Friday, I will put an about me video up, and yes, I do need these. And hopefully, you can learn more about me, and then see where I'm coming from when I give you this advice. And I hope you gain value from each of the videos I post online. Okay, with that being said, let's get into the topic of today's video. Fear. Okay, so there's this really good audiobook that I started listening to. And I've said this before in a few other videos, and I'll say it again. Your best friend is going to be audiobooks. Or reading books. But if you don't have time to read, maybe you're doing something, and, listen to audiobooks while you're doing those things. I listen to audiobooks while I drive. I sometimes do it here, while I'm doing stuff on the computer, right? Okay, so the audiobook I'm listening to right now is called Outwitting the Devil by Napolean Hill. And I'm not that far into it, but it's really, really good. I'm about 15-20 minutes in. Again, that's not that long. Might be a little longer because I was stopped by a train. So, and I'm telling you this as truth and fact right now, because I do post these videos the same day I record them. So, when I say I'm doing it right now, I am really doing it right now. So, in this book, they talk a lot about fear. So it's basically an interview where this guy is asking the devil questions, and the devil's answering these questions, and there's a point in it where he goes, he controls about 98% of the world's population. 98%. And the reason it's 98% is because we all are controlled by fear in some way. Now, you might be asking, well, what about the 4%? Okay, so, 2%, can't math today, 2%. What about the 2% that he doesn't control? Well, it goes on to say that the 2% are the people who can think for themselves. And that's not saying that people can't think for themselves, but it is saying that a lot of people think they're thinking for themselves, but it's really things they've been taught to believe. So I'm a Christian woman, but a lot of what we're taught as young kids is through like religion, school, parents, even. The people around us is how we learn how to think and feel a lot of times. So 98% of us, we live off of that, right? So 98% of people live off that. And so that's how we learn our fears, and that's what keeps us from moving forward and doing what we need to be doing. Because we fear, the two things we fear the most, right, is poverty and death. Poverty and death. And it's not because of your own thinking. It feels so natural that it feels like it's your own thinking, that you yourself came up with this idea that you're afraid of all of these things. But more than likely, it's a concept from what you've lived with, what you've grown up with, what you've learned along the way, growing up, and you grow daily as an individual, as your own person. You grow depending on the people you meet and what you do. But fear holds you back from thinking for yourself, and when you think back for thinking for yourself, you hold back from thinking for yourself, you don't accomplish the things that you need to accomplish. Like, you won't start that business because, there's too much risk. You fear you're going to be impoverished if you don't, or if you do something like put forth the money that you need to put forth. Or you're not going to get that raise because you fear you're going to get, you fear you're not going to do it, or you're not going to get it. That's why you don't ask. Okay? Or, just stuff like that. You can't just fear over things, because fear holds you back from accomplishing what you need to accomplish. I don't know if any of this is making sense. I might be going over and over the same thing, but it's true. Fear holds you back. Fear keeps you from doing what you want to do. Fear keeps you from being the person you want to be. Fear keeps you from making the money you want to make. Fear keeps you from being as wealthy as you want to be. Okay, you don't want to be tied down by location? Then take the leap. Take the leap. Financially, take the leap. To get where you want to be, in order to not be tied down by where you're at, so you can travel the world or do whatever you want to do and still be able to make your passive income starting a business, And I was just listening to this video the other day where it was people who work would never get rich. And the reason for that is because people can work every day of their lives and retire at the retirement age and still have nothing to show for it. Okay? You may own a mechanic shop, but if you're working the mechanic shop, you're not getting rich. You may, do videos like this, like on YouTube. But if you're editing your own videos, you're not really getting rich. So I guess in that sense, it's saying you should start, when you get to a certain point, you should start hiring other people so you can truly be free to do what you want to do. Okay? If you want to start a craft thing, so I make my own candles, right? I'm not getting rich off of candles because I make my own candles, No one else making them for me. I'm doing all of the work. I can make winter hats, but I'm not getting rich off of that because I'm having to do it all myself, right? My wedding dress, right? That's not even up for sale. But I have to sew my own dress, so therefore, first off, no one's getting paid other than the Walmart and the people who provide the fabric. And the thread companies. So, but I'm not getting paid to make it. No one else gets to look at it in the window once it's done, decide if they want to purchase it or not. But people who do the work are not getting rich, is the takeaway from that video. And of course, I just explained why. And that ties in with the topic of fear. So fear holds you back from doing that, hiring your own people, starting your own company, doing all this other stuff that you need to do, but you're too afraid to do it. You need to invest in all this other stuff, like in stocks, and invest in real estate, and invest in gold and silver, and invest in yourself. You need to do that, but you're not going to do it if you're scared of the outcome. If you're scared that you're not going to get anything, it's not going to produce anything. If you're scared of failing, then you're not going to get anywhere. Because in order to succeed, there has to be multiple failures along the way. Okay? You try, you fail, you try, you fail, you try, you fail, until eventually, the next time you try, it works. Because you've learned from each failure, each mistake, and now, you know what not to do. Okay? You try, you fail, or like, oh, well, that didn't work, so maybe not do that, and, maybe these little aspects worked, so keep this, but scratch the other part, and think of something else. It's like fixing a dryer. Okay, if you've never fixed a dryer in your life, right? You've never fixed a dryer, but you don't want to call somebody to do it. Okay, well, maybe you've done, every time your dryer breaks down, you call a repairman, right? Well, one day, what if you decide, oh, the dryer's broken, I'm going to do it myself, right? That's exactly what I did, okay? I've never hired a repairman for my dryer, ever. My husband wasn't going to fix it, and, they're like, well, we'll just get my uncle to do it. Well, his uncle, sorry to say, but he don't know what he's doing half the time, it seems like. But, yeah. So what I did was, I, never having fixed a dryer in my life, unplugged and dismantled the dryer, took it all apart to figure out why it was making that really nails on chalkboard screeching noise. I don't know if you've ever had to deal with that, but if you've heard it before, you know how annoying it can be, right? And we had just moved down in this basement. we were living upstairs, but she wanted her room back, and his brother and sister-in-law moved out. They had this room first. It was not as decorated as it is with us. It looked more like a basement, but they were also saving up to buy their own home. They didn't invest in a property, but they bought their own home, which is great. I don't discourage anyone from getting their own home. Matter of fact, it's a great thing to do, but it's not an asset because it's not making them money in the long run. So, I dismantled this dryer. Okay, I opened it up to see why it was doing that. Turns out there was a wheel bearing had come off. It had fallen off. And so I put the wheel bearing back on. I'm like, okay, well, I don't know how we're going to fix this. So we put the little plastic piece back on, too, that was holding it there. And we noticed there's a crack in it. Like, you could pull it apart if you really wanted to. So that had fallen off. And I was like, okay, well, we'll do this for now. And then we'll see how well it does. And so put it back together. First, when I took it apart, I broke the little latch that turns the light on in the dryer. That thing is duct tape. And it does not turn on half the time. So, now I know when you take it apart, be careful because you'll break the light latch. And so it held for a little bit. It was great. It was quiet. And then it fell off again. So I had to open it up. And we're like, okay, the wheel bearing popped off again. What do we have that'll hold the wheel bearing on for as long as possible until we need to, actually go and buy parts. And then my husband came up with this great idea. He's like, okay, I'll take a piece of this hanger, cut the wire off this hanger. There's a little wire hanger, and we'll bend it into a triangle. And we'll pop it on, and we'll keep the wheel bearing on that way until we get the actual parts. So we did that, and we ended up leaving it on there for a good while, even after we got the parts, because it was working so well. But we knew that we would eventually have to, to fix it. And fix it we did after about a couple months of it being like that, because it started to screech again. But yes, so you learn from your mistakes. So the dryer, you learn a little bit faster than other things. Alright, like, unplug your dryer before you dismantle it. I thought I had done that at the very beginning, but then as I got like halfway through, I was like, no. Halfway through, meaning I got the top part off. Luckily, hadn't messed with any wires. So, yes, careful when you dismantle your dryer. But that's how you succeed. We have succeeded in fixing the dryer ourselves. We wouldn't have been able to do that, if we hadn't have even started to try to begin with, right? You have to try, and when you try, you will fail until you get it right. But you can't stop because you keep failing. You never know when the next time you're going to succeed is. The next time could be a massive failure, or it could be when you succeed. You never know. There's nothing that's impossible. Even the word itself says, I'm possible. So there's nothing to fear. As I think it was Teddy Roosevelt once said, I think it was Teddy Roosevelt, don't quote me on that, because it could be a different president. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself, and that is 100% facts. 100% facts. Because once we stop fearing being broke, once we stop fearing death, that's when we go out of our comfort zone. The comfort zone is a beautiful place. I've said this before, but nothing ever grows. Nothing ever grows in your comfort zone. Why? Because you're too comfortable. Okay? It's beautiful. You may think it's fantastic there, right? You sit down on your couch, watch some TV, some Netflix, stuff like that. Or, like my husband sometimes, you get home, you kick off your shoes, you sit your butt down in your computer chair, and you play some Tarkov. Yes, I know what Tarkov is. I know because he plays it a lot. But, so if you find a passion to do something, right, like my husband has, he has a passion to play video games, that he has thought about starting his own gaming channel for years, but he's never thought he'd be able to do it because he's like, well, there's so many people out there that are better than me, that are doing so much better. People are going to want to watch them and not me. That's just how it's going to go. People are going to want to watch them and not me. I'm just some random guy just sitting there playing video games. I'm not even that good at the games that I play. No one's going to want to watch that. People are going to want to watch people who win the games. And I asked him, I was like, how many people do you watch who win 100% of the games they play? He's like, none. He said, the people I watch have to keep playing rounds sometimes until they do win. They don't win all the time. I'm like, okay. Then what are you afraid of? He's like, well, I'm just brand new at this, and I don't think anyone's going to want to watch me because I'm going to be a brand new YouTuber. No one's going to want to sit and watch gameplay from a total noob. I'm like, you've been playing games for a while. So, and the best advice I ever received for YouTube is don't even worry about, your videos. If you know how to edit, if you know how to do things that some other YouTubers know how to do, just get on and have fun. Do what you want to do. So, he had a date set in November, I want to say, and then we hit a wall. We hit a wall pretty much, where he's like, I found this game, I really like it. He got the game, and it's a 2D Tarkov. It's kind of like Terraria and Tarkov mixed. It's super cool. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. He's like, this is the game I want to start my channel with. I'm like, perfect, we can do this. He starts playing the game, and I guess, I don't know, it was lagging or something. It looked fine to me, but apparently to him, he's like, it's super slow, the controls are slow, and I guess he needs new parts, like a processor, a graphics card, CPU, or something, I don't know. And he needs all this other stuff, motherboard, because I don't think you can use the same, or a new processor on the motherboard he has in there. I think if it's a different generation, he needs a new motherboard. I think. Don't quote me. I don't know. I went to school for graphic design. I don't do any graphic design. I occasionally do. But I find that nowadays there's not a lot of people around me who want to do, or who want graphic design stuff, and I found my passion more into, learning how to be successful, putting forth the effort to be successful, and then sharing that information that I find out with you guys. So, his next goal is to get it started up the 7th of this coming month in January. So, if all goes well, his friend will be here Monday to help us figure out what he needs for his tower and everything so the game runs well so he can start his channel. So, the 7th is the deadline he's given. So, depending on the parts he needs, he should be up and ready by then. If not, then we'll have to set a new goal for when he's going to start the channel. The 7th was mainly for when all his parts were going to get figured out. So, we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. So, you can't let fear dictate where you're going to go. Okay? Just like him. He was afraid no one was going to watch his stuff. I was like, you know what? If me and the other subscriber are your only 2 subscribers, so be it. You know? I have 30 subs. I've been on here since 2016. Right? But you have to take into consideration why I only had 30. Because it was... because I wasn't uploading as much as I should have. So there'd be like months in between an upload. You know, there might have been a whole year in between for an upload. Yeah. It was not okay. But I found that I like getting on and talking about, you know, all the stuff that, you know, I learn about, and then I can in turn teach you what I've learned. And so today was about fear and how you can't let fear control where you go. And a lot of our fear isn't from us thinking that fear ourselves. It's because of what we've been taught while growing up. And so, this video has been kind of long. I guess I'll leave you with this. Definitely 100% listen to Outwitting the Devil by Napolean Hill. Okay? And I do affiliate marketing other than just this channel. So, if you want to learn more about affiliate marketing, the link will be in the description like it is all the time. I look forward to seeing you in the affiliate marketing community. I definitely hope you take the time. I appreciate it. And like always, invest in yourself because you are the very best person you can invest in. Invest in stocks, invest in real estate, invest in gold, and invest in silver. Okay? Don't just invest in one thing because that one thing can just plummet real hard. So invest in multiple things and have multiple streams of income, not just one. Okay? I love you and I will see you in the very next video. Thank you guys so much for joining me today, and I cannot wait to see you in the next video. Bye.